Hi mate.
Alright.
Costa, Friday morning.
Bit nippy out.
TAC Talk 16. One thing I wanted to talk about today was Tough Mudder.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
your memories of doing a Tough Mudder.
Okay.
So take us back 2009.
Is it 2009?
Yeah, 2009, 2010.
I can't
It was
even-
2009. And we
I can't remember why we even did it. I think
So-
you wanted to do some sort of.
Well, no, it was my client Dan. Remember Dan? I was training. He wanted to go to Marines, and I was training him up.
That was it.
And he asked me about doing a Tough Mudder. And it was one of the first in the UK at the time.
Yeah. I found it.
You found it?
Yeah.
Did you?
Because it was like me, you, like Paul, Hayward, were all in a group and we were looking for these runs. And I just came across the Tough Mudder. I remember posting it and you were like, "We're doing this one." And then you went to Dan.
Yeah. So I went to him because it would have been good because it's like a 12-mile run.
Yeah.
So it would have been good to do. And then he got his mate to do it. Oh, because Paul didn't do it, did he?
No, Paul didn't
It
do
was
it.
just me and you initially, and Dan, and I can't remember his mate.
Yeah, I don't remember. I can't remember his face, but yeah.
But we signed up for it. But we'd done a few men's health before that.
Yeah, so
hadn't
we did some men's health runs.
So they were like, what were they? 10k?
10k, something like that.
Yeah, men's health obstacle courses. But they were just like in the city, so it was basically on concrete with obstacles.
Yeah. Where was it? In London?
Well, that was at Battersea.
Battersea,
The men's health
Battersea,
one was at
yeah,
Battersea.
yeah.
And you had to run through the old Battersea power station. It was pretty cool. And it was just like you'd run, jump in a skip full of ice, get out, run over a few hay bales, a couple of walls. But other than that, it was mainly just running.
Just running. Yeah.
That Tough Mudder, that first one was in Kettering in Northampton. And I remember that. And how were your experiences, man?
I didn't enjoy it, mate.
Because let's just say you're not a runner.
Not for those kind of distances, you know. I prefer a sprint any day. So like, yeah, I mean, 3, 2, 1, go.
We
I
all
think I
got
remember we ran. You know, you ran like not even 100 meters, and we were jumping into the water. Do you remember? It was like a little, like a ditch.
Yeah.
It was a ditch. So I remember getting out of that, and I was just like, oh, here we go.
But that was the Tough Mudder was a long run. It was 12 miles at the time. The first one was. I think they're a little bit shorter now.
Yeah.
But I remember because me and Dan kind of separated. We ran off together, and then you and his mate stuck back.
We stayed together.
But I mean, you didn't enjoy it.
I didn't enjoy it. I mean, like, I remember cramping up a few times. I think there's a photo of me because there was an obstacle where you had to climb something and you jumped into the water.
Yeah.
And we're at the top of the platform. And I started getting cramped. So his friend like had my foot up and like just relieving my hamstrings. And I was just like, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not a small guy, man. Like, I'm not built for this kind of distances. I've never been a great runner anyways. But yeah. I remember Henley better than.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about that one more. So like, I don't remember much about Kettering, that first one, because it was like, guys, it's like 12 years ago now. But we did, but I did after that. We both did another men's health in Manchester. That was pretty cool because you had to run through Man City Stadium.
You did it. I just watched.
Oh, you came and watched, yeah. But that was quite cool because you had to run through City Stadium and that's got the spiral things. But then I did another Tough Mudder. You and Ryan came and watched.
Yes. Yeah.
I did that on my own, but that was in Kettering again.
Was that in Kettering?
Yeah, because I remember the route being almost in reverse.
Right.
But I remember it was like I remember thinking I want to do this for time, for pace. I did it like an hour 50. It was quite a quick time. Like I had this goal of qualifying for that world's toughest mudder, which at the time they took like the top 1% or the top 5% or something like that. And I didn't qualify, but I think now they actually take a few more. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. It's like 24 hours. But then for a few years later, for Tom Stag do, me, you, Tom, his dad, and Paul Jeffries did the one in was it in Henley or Marlow? Henley. Yeah. I know, that was a funny one, man. I had to carry you at times.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah. I didn't even pay for it. Do you remember?
Yeah, you paid for a spectator's ticket.
I paid for a spectator's ticket. You were like, right, just huddle in the crowd, and yeah, it was fine, you know. But yeah, the first thing I remember was just like incline
straight away
from the start.
Yeah. You start. Oh. We had Tom dressed up as a deer because it was a stag do, so we tried to get a stag out, dressed him up as a deer.
Yeah.
And there was quite a few of us doing it that day, so we would do it in the morning. I remember Tash and Kirsten and a few of the girls were doing it for some reason. I can't remember why.
Is that the one that
Bingo
and Nick did as well?
Yeah, Bingo and Nick did it, because I remember that picture of Bing just with his hands on his hips.
I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I don't want to do this. But like, this one cracked me up so much because one, you didn't even pay to do it. Well, you pay for a spectator fee. Everyone's paying like £200 to do it, and you pay like 20 quid. 20 quid, you pay for a spectator ticket, but you brought your kit.
Yeah, it's so easy though. Imagine how many people probably did that.
Yeah, we could have all done it. Yeah. So you did that, and then Tough Mudder are probably watching this, and they're going to be claiming you.
Get his name.
It's Tom Bayani, by the way. But I remember like starting, and then the first thing was a hill.
Yeah.
And like it was tough.
It was a serious hill.
It was, but the whole thing was hilly. Like you're either going up a hill, downhill, or like alongside a hill. Because I remember like the days after, my ankles were killing me just from like running like alongside a hill, at, like where your feet were at an angle.
You had to carry me at one point because my legs just gave out. Just imagine the sack of firemen carrying me.
I just remember. So we got to a bit where it was like, alright, if you've done a Tough Mudder before, go in this direction, and if you hadn't, go in this direction. So because me, you, and Tom's brother had all done a Tough Mudder before, we went off in this other direction. Like, so we went down it, and I remember we got into this ditch, and then so me and I can't remember Tom's brother's name, but we got out. Me and James got out, and then we turned round and we went to help you, and you jumped. But when you jumped, your calves cramped up, both of them. Like, you went to jump and we grabbed you, just and like both your calves cramped up. And I remember like getting you out, and then I fireman's carried you for like 200 meters or something like that. But we still had like half the race to go.
It was brutal. Yeah.
It was savage.
That was that was me. Like, I didn't even want to do that one, but it was the stag do, so I was like, all right.
It was like, because I remember like after that, like all the obstacles, you were just bypassing them.
I think there was one.
Did you do the half pipe at the end?
No, because I think people were getting hurt because it was so slippery. Yeah. People were like cracking ribs.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people, weren't there? Because people ended up just queuing for it. Because me and James, again, we managed it. I think Tom might have managed it as well. So we were waiting at the top. And I just remember like people just couldn't get up it because it was too slippery.
It's too slippery at that point.
And that was good fun, man. I mean, for a stag do, that was quite a good laugh. It took us like 4.5 hours to get round, and I just remember you afterwards being under this hose.
Yeah,
like trying to wash yourself.
I was still covered in it, even when we got changed. You know? It wasn't until we got back to the hotel. You know?
So my question to you is, why did you do it?
Why? Well, it was a stag do, wasn't it?
I mean, why do you do shit that you clearly hate?
Well, these days I'll never do anything like that again. You know? If I don't want to do something, I won't do it. You know?
Nah.
Retired from CrossFit, mate. Don't do comps, do I? You know?
I haven't done a comp in a while. Why? If you could rank like your kind of like your physical challenge, whether that be a run, a CrossFit event, what would be the hardest or worst thing you've done? Or just like, you know, has it been a competition? Has it been?
I think box rocks was quite hard. That one where I had to do it like just spur of the moment.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, that one was just because I wasn't physically prepared.
I don't actually think we spoke about this. So we were on the way in. So this was in Aldershot.
Yeah.
And this was our first major competition as a gym. And you were driving Nick,
Stevie?
Yeah, Stevie. Someone else, wasn't it?
There was someone else in there as well, I can't remember who.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll never forget, we were driving down and we were all having a good laugh, just driving down the A34 M4, and then I remember Stevie's phone rings and he goes, "Oh, it's Zach." And I don't know why. I just had this sinking feeling like, why is he calling for? We're on the way. You know, like there can't be anything wrong. So then Stevie picks up the phone, and then, well, apparently you said, repeat after me, Tombo. Then he goes, Tombo, you're doing the comp. And I was like, I haven't got any kit.
I said to Stevie, I was like, mate, repeat exactly what I say, because I didn't know what he was going to say. But basically, I remember what had happened was, it was a big team of 8 competition, and we'd put 2 teams in. And I remember one of the lads in our team, so we'd got someone in our team who Joe had recommended, but he worked out in Iraq, and we'd never met him before. I can't remember his name. We never knew him, but he seemed really keen. And on the morning of the competition, so literally we were on the way, because Matty was driving me, and we had a few more people in the car. Matty was driving me, and he just messaged saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry, can't make it." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, it's dead.
So I was like, "What are we gonna do?" And obviously that's when I rang Stevie, because I knew you were going. And I just remember saying, "Oh, right, Stevie, repeat exactly what I say." And he's like, yeah. I was like, Tombo needs to do this competition. And then I remember him saying, like, Tombo, you're doing the competition. And then I just remember you saying, I ain't got no kit. And my immediate response was, Connor's got kit, because my cousin was coming. Well, it was, I've got trainers.
I didn't have any kit, but I didn't have any trainers either.
Yeah. So we could have got your kit, just like from ourselves. And then Connor had trainers.
Yeah, you're like, what size are you? 9.
Connor's 9.
So I was just like, alright. It was so funny because when you guys hung up, there was just this awkward silence for like 10 seconds, and I was just like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah,
and we all just burst out laughing. Just like,
I just remember getting out of the car and like you being like just seeing you, and I'm just going up to him, mate. I'm so sorry, man. But he was. Oh no, he wasn't in our team. He was in Nick's team. Yeah, so he like. Because we'd obviously got a gym team together, and then because we were still really early days, like a lot, like we kind of like squashed the team together last minute, and that's why he was in it. And then like he obviously bottled it. So yeah, you would have been in Nick's team.
Yeah, so it was like me, Nick, Stevie, Kirsten,
Luke Best,
Matty Midwinter, and Suzanne Brokenshire.
Yeah,
team 7.
Yeah, and then but there would have been one more because it was 8.
Was it
team of 8?
Was it team of 8?
Yeah, I can't remember who else did it.
Oh, okay.
Was it? Yeah, I can't remember. But like, tell me about the competition, man. What do you remember about it?
I mean, I remember doing the stretcher run.
That was horrendous.
That was. I think for everyone that was just horrible.
That was a kilometre stretcher race. But you had, looking back, it was probably a bit like. It was like it's a good event in terms of that, like it was a test, it was difficult. What I didn't think was necessarily fair was like you had to carry someone in your team.
Monk was in the team.
Monk, so, that was it. Yeah. So you had to carry someone in your team. So like basically, it was very much dependent on like how heavy someone in your team was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we were quite lucky, so we had Tash and Sam, who were both light. So like we had both of them on the stretcher, so that was pretty straightforward. But I mean, you had Suzanne and Kirsten, so again it wasn't too bad. But if you were a team where like you know you had someone who's like the lightest person in your team was like 70 kilos, that would have been pretty horrendous.
Yeah. I mean, like it was. I mean, because I remember I hadn't trained because I'd been injured, and So I mean, obviously I'd been feeling alright, but I just hadn't really started getting back into training yet.
Especially like the intensity and that.
So yeah, it was just the volume. Like I remember after the stretcher run, we were all just huddled together, and I was just like laid on the floor. I can't remember. I think it might have been Suzanne. She was like, "T, are you all right?" And I'm like,
"It was the thing I remember about like it was weird because I was with Bestie and Jace, and I remember just like we did that kilometre in like 7 minutes. The stretcher. It was like one of the worst I've ever felt during something. We just literally picked up the stretcher and sprinted for 7 minutes. And I just remember afterwards, like collapsing to the floor. And then the other stretcher came, and it was with Mobby, Matty O'Brien. And obviously both him and Jace and Bestie were all ex-Marines. And I just remember Mobby and Jace just snogging each other. It was the most random thing ever, man. I was just like, because I was on my hands and knees in bits, and I looked up, and there's just these 2 grown men snogging each other for no reason whatsoever. It was weird. Would you say that was your worst event?
That was it my worst event? Probably, because I remember there was
The rest
sled sprint.
Yeah, that was quite quick.
That was alright.
It was like a clean ladder, wasn't there?
There was a
Because
clean ladder.
that was only a 1 day. The first year was only a 1 day comp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for all of us, because I remember we were both seemingly doing quite well.
Yeah, and then we made the.
So we might have made the quarterfinals.
We made the
semi-final.
semi.
And then we got highlighted. We didn't have any
Double
skipping
under.
ropes. It was double unders.
Well, yeah, I remember like that was it. Yeah, because
Wall balls as well. None of us did any wall balls.
yeah, because we didn't have wall ball targets in the gym.
And they'd added some kind of. You had to do a wall ball and then squat and then catch it.
Yeah, it was
again.
weird.
It was
double
weird.
wall ball,
Double wall ball type
yeah,
thing.
I haven't seen that done since.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember because I remember we made the semi-final, and I remember it was I can't remember exactly what the workout was. It was like an AMRAP where you had to, but everyone had to do a cash-in of 100 double unders or something like that. But if you couldn't do double unders, it was 300 single unders.
Yeah.
And like, I think there was only a few people in our team who could do double unders.
Yeah, like
and
you.
I think
You.
me, Sam, I think could do them, and then Tash probably. Like, it was literally like barely anyone in the team. In your team, I think only Suzanne, or maybe Stevie could do them. Like, there wasn't many people who could do them.
No.
And I just remember like watching you guys do like 300 singles compared to 100 double unders. Like, just there all day. Oh yeah, we got. But that was I mean that was standard. What happens at a competition? You get exposed a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you
rope climbs.
haven't been before. Yeah, rope climbs. Yeah.
Legless. I know. I was just doing
Well,
legless.
they weren't legless.
No. But that's
like-
all I could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't have the technique then.
Yeah, I remember being a bit gutted because I think we got a bit ahead of, or both teams, we got a bit ahead of our station up until that point because we both made the semis, didn't we? Mm-hmm. We'd done quite well. I think we ended up finished like 7th and 8th.
7th and 8th.
Yeah. And that was our first ever kind of big competition. And that was a good crack. Was if you compared the box boxes you did, was that the worst one?
Nah, definitely our third time going was the worst.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was actually doing this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was horrendous.
That was one where we spoke about the swim before, haven't we?
Yeah, we've spoken about the swim. Anyone who knows.
Yeah.
It's like TAC athletes and the folklore. That story.
Yeah. But you really severely ripped your hand.
Yeah, that was the World Fantasyland. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but like some sort of Fran
Yeah,
compilation.
each pair had to do a variation.
Like
of Fran,
variation of
didn't they?
Fran, and
Yeah.
you know, it was so hot that day. There was just a black wig.
Yeah, it was red as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and yeah, I had I don't think I've ever ripped my hand so bad. You know, like,
I don't think I've ever seen a rip that bad. But what was funny about that is you'd like not long before that you were like, yeah, I've never ripped my hand.
yeah, well,
Yeah, never ripped my hands. But like I remember just like half of your skin had, like half the skin on your hand had literally come off.
yeah, like
and
craters.
And then I remember when you went to the medical guy, you put the anti-bac gel on it. Yeah,
God, that was brutal.
that was painful.
That was so bad. But it was good. I mean, despite that, it was a good comp.
It was a good comp because
Highlights, PB my clean, you know.
yeah, you hit 125, didn't you?
Well, I hit 120, but then I cleaned 125, but then the time ran out.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no.
I remember that just being a really good weekend. Like apart from the fact both you and Tash ripped your hand because you were both paired. Right?
Yeah, we were paired together.
Yeah, because she ripped her hands really badly, and then obviously you ripped your hands really badly, and it was just like, oh, it sucked. It was like a bit of a downer for you guys, like because you guys were doing fairly well as well.
Yeah, we weren't doing too bad. You know.
And then, other than that though, I just remember being a decent, really good comp. Like weather was really nice. You know, obviously it was over 2 days. I think we ended up coming second.
We came second, yeah.
We were robbed. Like we were leading all weekend, and then the last workout they said winner takes all.
Yeah,
it was a joke.
Yeah, because you were winning quite comfortably.
Yeah, we were smashing them. And then, but it was like the last workout was just like it was like relays of stuff. Like
sled pull,
like sled push, sled pull,
heavy deadlifts.
Yeah, it was just
box jumps. Yeah, I can't remember, something like that. I can't remember the order.
But the fact that it was winner take, and we ended up coming second in a winner takes all.
Yeah.
And like we'd like destroyed the competition, and we were comfortably in first. and then like we ended up coming second in the final workout. It's just like, you know, that was really gut wrenching.
Yeah, it was one of those.
I remember a lot of people kicked off, even like people who weren't even us, and on all the online comments afterwards kicked off and stuff about that.
Yeah, I kind of, obviously you didn't win it, but I felt like it was your year to win.
Yeah.
Just because each year you got progressively better. You know, obviously we came 7th and 8th the first year. We sent one team out the second year, came 4th.
Yeah, that was
then you know, kind of felt like, all right, this is the one.
Yeah.
And it was looking that way. You know, it was looking that way all the way up.
And I just remember like it had a lot of feel good about it. Like we did that Isabel thing, the snatch thing, where like it was like 60 snatches. Like 4 of you had to do like 60 snatches at 40. Oh no,
it's 40-60. But then
60, yeah.
So a pair, I think a pair did 60 snatches.
Yeah, and then the other pair did 60
snatches.
No, the other 4. So 4 did 60 snatches, and then the other 4 did 60 snatches.
Yeah.
But I remember like we did. So 4 of us went. Bingo started and just annihilated it. Yeah. And then like me, Midwinter, and Nick did it as a freak because Sam couldn't snatch 40, and we still just destroyed it. Like that was like that was one of the best I felt after a workout because we just like sent
big highlight.
Yeah,
big highlight.
And it just that weekend kind of felt good. Obviously, there's loads of other reasons, but also because of that, like doing so well on that, and then obviously to have it kind of like snatched from you at the end in the final was a bit gut wrenching.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, what do you do?
Well, end on a positive, man. End on a positive.